They wrote you off. Not loudly. They didn't need to be loud. It was in the way conversation shifted, when you walked into the room, the way certain people stopped, including you in things, without ever explaining why. The way someone who used to believe in you started looking at you differently, like you were already a finished story, a cautionary tale, something to reference when people talk about potential. That didn't pan out. You felt it. Every room you walked into, carrying the weight of what happened. Every interaction, where you could feel them, calculating your failure, behind their eyes, and the worst part of you agreed with them. In the quiet moments, in the dark, when it was just you, and the honest version of everything. Part of you wondered if they were right, if this was it, if the fall was the final chapter, if the version of you that was supposed to become something had already had his chance and missed it. That part of you was wrong. They were wrong, all of them, and you are going to prove it in the only language that cannot be argued with, and not words, not explanations, not the carefully constructed narrative of why it happened and what you learned and how you've grown. Results, undeniable, unmistakable, impossible to contextualize away, the kind that land in silence and sit in the room long after you've left, the kind that make the people who wrote you off go quiet in a specific way, not apologetic, not celebratory, just quiet. The way people go quiet when the thing they dismissed becomes impossible to dismiss. That silence is what you are building toward. Not the moment they congratulate you, not the moment they come back around, not the reconciliation, not the acknowledgement, the silence. The moment their narrative about you breaks under the weight of your results. That is the only revenge worth having. And it is built in training rooms. They will never enter, at hours they will never see, with a level of commitment they fundamentally do not understand, because the man coming back savage is not the same man who fell. The fall changed something, not broke it, changed it, hardened it, stripped it of everything soft, everything that needed external validation to keep moving, everything that required conditions to be right before the work could begin. The man who fell and came back doesn't need conditions. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need the crowd. He needs a target, and everyone who doubted him just became one, not in hatred and in fuel. Every face that looked at you like you were finished, fuel. Every conversation that happened without you, fuel. Every assumption that you were done, fuel. Loaded, all of it. Every slight, every dismissal, every moment of quiet humiliation you carried and never spoke about, loaded into the work, into every rep that burns, into every morning you take back, into every session where your body wants to stop, and you think of their faces, then you don't. This is not bitterness. Bitterness is passive. Bitterness sits and waits for someone to acknowledge the wound. This is colder than bitterness. This is construction, building something so undeniable that the wound becomes irrelevant, that what happened becomes simply the origin story of the man you became because of it. The comeback is not about them. It was never about them. It is about the version of you that the fall was supposed to destroy and didn't. That version is still here, angrier than before, clearer than before, more committed than before, with nothing left to lose and everything left to build. That is the most dangerous man alive, not the man at the top, with everything to protect, the man at the bottom, with everything to prove, and no fear of falling, because he already knows what falling feels like, and he survived it. You survived it, and now you're not coming back to participate. You're coming back to take back the respect, to take back the rooms, to take back the narrative, to build something so real that the story they wrote about you becomes fiction, next to the fact of what you actually became. No announcement, no warning, no press conference, just the work. Every day, harder than before, colder than before, more precise than before, until the results speak, and they will speak loudly. In the rooms where they whispered, in the spaces where they wrote you off, in the faces of every person who made the mistake of deciding your story was over. It wasn't over, It was loading. Stand up. Get back in the room. Train like the man you're about to become. Execute like the man who has nothing left to lose. Build like every single day is the answer to every single doubt anyone has ever had about you. The comeback doesn't announce itself. It arrives. Make yours savage.